We're back. It's Tuesday Night Live. We do this every Tuesday. Um, these live calls. So I kind of left it a few seconds later to start, so people would start coming in. Because usually I'm sitting here like a lemon at the start, so people are coming in slowly. How are we all doing? Can you hear me? First of all, comment in the comment section if you can. Who have we got there today? I'm just going to give it another couple of minutes, well, another couple of seconds before people get in. Who's here? What's the crack, Ellen? Good to see you again. Thank you so much for the comment. So, yeah, that's it. We're rolling. So, we're going to get straight into it, lads. I'm going to do this without any hiccups. This is it now. I have this down to a T. Thank you so much, Craig. I seen your comment on YouTube. I'm going to talk about that today. Very good question. So yeah, without any further ado, how are we all doing? 18 people, lovely stuff. No mistakes. Let's do it. Here we go. So as always, I'm going to start with a few congratulations. So first of all, Girish, one of my lads in Tallaght, congratulations, Girish. He said that, I think this was, thank you so much, Anurag. See you tomorrow, bud. He said that that was his fourth attempt, I think he said, and he passed it. People were asking him in the group saying, what questions were you asked? And he said, out of all his tests, he was always asked the signs and questions out of my two videos. I left them in the comments. I think it's the third link down. It's a playlist for all the videos. But he said the usual: clearway, no entry, pedestrianised street, path first time in Tallaght. Well done, Silam. Pedestrianised street, motorway, who has right away at the roundabout, all the usual stuff. They're in them two in them two videos in the comments. Years of research went into them. Also, Kira asked what route did you take, and he took Tallaght test route number 1. I've left all the test routes in the comments below as well. So if you're watching this later, they'll all be in the comments. All right. Congrats, Girish. Well done, bud. How are we all doing? Thank you so much for joining. Then we have Sam Pat. Sam Pat was over in Maple House with Patrick or Patricio. She only picked up 2 faults, really impressive. One for being a little bit over the speed limit on a 30, so grade 2, a little bit harsh if it was only 35. And for the reverse around the corner, she didn't check her back window. Remember, it's not the rear view mirror, it's over your left shoulder, out the back window. But apart from that, fantastic result. Congratulations. Delighted for you. Thank you so much for being part of the team. On the left-hand side, we have Jan, who passed in Tallaght. Congratulations, bud. I'm delighted. We have Manish, who passed in Skibbereen. What a place to go for your test. He said, the subscription for my channel is worth more than Netflix, Disney, and whatnot. I haven't been on whatnot yet, but I hear it's very impressive. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We have Georgia on the left, pass in Tallaght yesterday. Got there by the skin of our teeth. 8 grade 2s. The very last one you'll see there is for parking. Parking is the very last thing you do in your test. She got marked for observation because there was a pedestrian standing in her spot, and she kind of just kept on driving like the pedestrian. That could have been a fail if she was one above. Actually, the very, very, very last thing in your test will be alighting out of your car. This is the second last thing you do, parking. Make sure you're straight in between the lines and don't drive your car at somebody. How you doing, Charo? I have a question. Very good question from you as well. Then below that, so Georgia, congratulations. Then we had Korean, one of my guys again, both in Tallaght, smashed the result as well. Congratulations, bud. Then we have Shivape, one of my boys as well, over in Tallaght, absolutely smashed it. And he was joking, saying the guidance of his son. I caught him out driving a test route. I was like, who's your sponsor? Yeah, the boy's only about 10. He's like, that's me full license driver. We're having a bit of crack about that. But yeah, congratulations, bud. There was more. I missed loads of them. So I'm just saying this, lads. I did mention this last week. I am doing the Dublin City Marathon for the Keith Duffy Foundation. I will be doing lessons in exchange for charity rather than money. Also, if you're going to send me money for this, people always send me money on this as a super chat. Don't send it to me. Send it to the Keith Duffy Foundation. It's the second link in the description. Please don't send me any super chats. Send it to the Keith Duffy Foundation. Also, if you want to find out how to do a lesson and not pay me, pay the charity, in Tala, I'll be happy to do that with you. Before I go any further, lads, if you are planning on doing your driving test in February and you haven't got your invitation yet, by the way, if Manny is here, thank you so much, Manny. Manny donated last week when I said this on the chat, and he donated very generously to the foundation. Thank you so much, Manny. If you're here, I hope you are. If you want to book me in Tala, or anybody, even if you book your lessons in advance, I'm completely full until I have a couple of availabilities on the first week of February. My first available weekend is the 21st of February. If you want myself or one of the lads, or if your instructor is like fairly active, give them a bit of notice. You won't get in short notice. Don't book a test date and then book a lesson. Book a lesson, and if you're ready to pass, then book a test date. That's the best way to do it. It just ensures you're ready to pass. Now, let's get into the meat and two veg. A lady asked this in the WhatsApp group. By the way, the WhatsApp group is for our students and the members of the YouTube channel. So these are all the questions from the WhatsApp group. A girl said she heard a lot of comments about having a green strip on the insurance. She sent in this photo. This disc is perfectly fine. That looks like a red Click insurance company disc. That one is completely fine. No issues with that whatsoever. They only have a problem if when you print them yourself, just make sure you print it in color. If it's a really poor printout, get onto your insurance company. The least they can do is send you an official document. You know what I mean? You're paying them good money. Just tell them you need it for your driving test. Another question was asked in the group. I have a question about change in lanes. My instructor said there is a new rule where I am not allowed to check my blind spot anymore. Can I only check my mirror? Is that true? It's the first I have heard about it. The reason why people are getting marked for checking their blind spot when they're changing lane is because they're driving down the road probably 60, 80, even 100, and they're doing a big look over their shoulder out the back window, when instead, as it says in the rules of the road here, it's just a little sideways glance. It's just a flick of the head to make sure there's no motorbike hiding in your blind spot. You're not taking your eyes off the road for a long period of time. What have we got next? Hope that answers your question. If it's slow moving traffic at a stop line and I am the second car in the queue stopped for a while due to traffic, do I need to fully stop again once I reach the line, even if all traffic is clear ahead of me? Yes, 100%. The first car stops at the line, you wait behind the first car. When the first car goes, you go up to the stop line, stop, right and left. If you can see after doing two looks, off you go. Thank you, bud. So this came from YouTube. So quick when I'm preparing to stop at light. So I go from fourth to third while slowing down. Then I brake, clutch into second, stop completely, then into first while waiting to move off again. Is that coasting? My foot stays on the clutch when I'm going from third to second and then to first as the car has completely stopped. So I'm driving down the road. I'm in fourth. You don't want to just drive up on the brake, clutching and stopping fourth. There's a few things you can do. So I see the red light. I'm just soft with the brake, into third, off the clutch, and then clutching and stopping third. Or you can be on the brake a little bit longer, clutch, skip third into second, off the clutch and clutching in second. Or you can go down through the gears. But every time you go down, if you go into third, off the clutch, and then clutching into second, off the clutch, but it will be easier. You just don't want to clutch in, go third, second, first, while your foot is flat on the clutch all the way up to the light. You know what I mean? That is coasting. So a better way to do it is clutch, third, off the clutch, clutch in and stop in third if the light is still red. So this is a question I get a lot there. It's about moving off from a park position. So turning off your signal and waiting for the car to pass makes no sense if there's an oncoming car. Like, who are you signaled to if there's no cars driving up the road when you're moving off? So when we're doing a gosho, we're doing gear, observation, signal to the right. When you check your mirror, if the car is far enough away, we leave our signal on and we move out and the car will see us. If the car is too close and you're not going to pull out in front of them, cancel your signal because you're not going to pull out in front of them anyway. Also, when you're if I'm in the car driving past and I see a learner car parked at the side of the road with his right signal on, I'm holding my breath thinking, I hope he can see me coming up the road and he doesn't just crash into the side of my car. So like unless you're going to pull out in front of the car, which you shouldn't do unless they have a good distance away, just cancel your signal and just wait for them to pass and then you signal and move off again. Another one for the turnabout. So what's the point in stopping? If you're doing a turnabout, you're gonna be blocking the whole road, so they can't really do anything until you finish. So the reason why I stop now, you don't have to stop. Like I'm doing my turnabout, I'm looking right and left. I see a car coming. If I continue to do the reverse, but this car isn't stopping, and they try to go up on the path to overtake me, but I just keep on going, and I crash into them while I'm doing that, I'll be at fault because I'm doing something out of the norm. You know what I mean? When that car stops and you realise they're stopping, finish the turnabout. Don't like wait too long to get the car moving again. Okay, they can see me, they're stopping, and just finish off the maneuver then. You just don't don't keep reversing back if there's a car coming, because I've seen it happening. They can go up on the footpath and try overtake you. Happens all the time. You don't want to crash them when they're up on the footpath. So if we can get clarity on signal or not to signal every time we move out due to parked cars on their side. So if you ever seen any of my videos, I don't really signal around parked cars, because if you signal around every parked car you're seeing, all you will be doing is signaling in your driving test. I'm driving up the road, it's a 30, there's nobody around, see the car, mirror, move out and drive straight past. Times I would signal around a parked car is if, one example would be, there's a hazard on my side, I'm stopped because there's oncoming traffic. In this scenario, I have my signal on because that was in the theory test. That's what we learned to do in the theory. That would be one time. Another time is if it's a bigger 50 road and there's road markings. If, say, there's a van or a car parked on the left, I would probably mirror a signal to the right, overtake. Another time, if I was overtaking something like a bus or something, I would always signal. And another time would be if if I need to let somebody else know that I am going to move out. Like if there's a car behind me, just mirror a signal. Yeah, I am moving out, and straight down the road. I was on a lesson on Saturday, and the young lady was having a bit of trouble going from third to second, because what she was doing was she was trying to go from third and slice it back across the gearbox into second. What was happening to her was she was bouncing off this little bit in the middle and then bouncing into fourth, and we were taking a lot of the corners in fourth rather than second. So in the manual car, when you are dropping down a gear, it's better to pop it to the middle first, push it away from your knee, and then roll it back into second. It's instead of going across like this, it's really hard to get it in, and that's the same going from second to third. Try not force it across. Pop it into the middle, roll it forward, pop it to the middle, and then push it forward for third, and that'll get you into third. Try use this track on your gears. It'll make your gears so much easier. I was on a lesson yesterday, and we had to overtake something parked on the left, and there was a line of cars in front of us overtaking what the hazard on the left. In this scenario, okay, there's something parked on the left. I need to cross onto the wrong side of the road. If there's a load of cars in front of you doing the same thing and you can't see past the cars in front of you, let the car move in, do your own observation. Now I can see, and then don't delay. The second you can see there's nothing coming, get it done, mirror, signal, move out, and overtake the car parking the left. Just don't blindly follow the cars in front to overtake. Also, when you can see, don't delay and take too long. Once you can see there's nothing coming, get it done. Don't blind fire. And when you can fully see, oh, sorry, yeah. And lads, nearly everybody is making this mistake. When we're changing lanes, when you hear you're changing lanes, the last thing you want to do is go heavy on the brake. I'd say 99% of the people I'm in the car with are doing that. Okay, I'm changing lane, heavy on the brake. It's the last thing you want to do. We want to be keeping up with the flow of traffic. Nobody's going to let you in if you go heavy on the brake. You'll never get in. You'll never be able to change lane if it's even a little bit busy. So keeping up with the speed, unless it's unsafe to keep the speed up, keep the speed up. Mirror, signal, little look beside me, and move in. So what's this one? If we stop further before the stop line, and then again move closer and stop again, will we be marked as error? Not really. If you've done it once, if you repeatedly done it, it could be a mark for position stopping. That's usually when you're parking at the side of the road, but maybe that could be the same thing, stopping too far back from a stop line. Um, if it happened once, not the end of the world, but try get up, stop at the line, and then do your observation. A question about, may I turn on my 360 camera to avoid hitting curb by front and back bumper? Should I ask instructor for permission? Not at all. Any of these tools that are built into the car, you can use them, but you just don't rely on the software only. You do your own observation and then a quick glance at your camera or your sensors or whatever, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to turn anything off. Just remember, like, you're just demonstrating that like, when you're driving alone, you're going to be using these tools, so you don't want to turn them off, and because it's not realistic. You know what I mean? You're going to be using them, demonstrating. Yeah, I can do my own observation, and the little tools can help along the way as well. No problem with them whatsoever. Where am I? This girl is having terrible trouble. So in these, there's few stop junction with speed bumps, where first is sign, then speed bump, aka pedestrian crossing, then stop line. On one my test, I was stopping before speed bump and then moving to the line, and all was fine, got no marks. On my recent test, I did the same and got marked twice for this. And after the test, I explained not to do that. So it depends on who's in the car. And of course it does, yeah. Like, all testers are different. They have different things they mark for. Like, if I was a tester, I might mark really heavy on clutch, whereas another tester mightn't mind. And I mightn't mind if someone goes a little bit over the speed limit. Another tester wouldn't like that. So it's personal preference. Just try and do everything perfect. What I would say about that is the second test, that would be correct. There'd be no point stopping before the zebra crossing if there's no people there. Up onto the crossing, stop at the line if there's no people. Otherwise, you're just double stopping. Can you explain the 2 second? Can you explain the 2 second rule further? How to use it and why it's used? Did I apply it during my driving practice with you? Thank you in advance. You were using the 10 second rule, Charmaine. You're too slow. You're supposed to keep up with the flow of traffic. So the 2 second rule. So there was an ad campaign about this years ago on the RTE. It's the most Irish thing in the world. I hate explaining it. I just think it's really stupid the way they've done it, but here we are. So how the 2 second rule works is, so imagine it doesn't matter what speed you're going, the 2 second rule is valid, right? So imagine you're driving along, there's a car in front of you. How the 2 second rule is works, you say, okay, am I 2 seconds following distance behind him? When the car in front gets to a fixed point, as in you might see a bus stop, a road marking, as in like an arrow or something on the ground, or anything that is fixed that doesn't move, just use a bus stop for an example, or any type of pole. When that car gets to the pole, I have to say, only a fool breaks the 2 second rule. And then if I get there, then or after I say that, you're in a good spot. If you get there before you finish that sentence, that's not a 2 second gap. Come back a bit. Remember, when you're driving in wet weather, it's the 4 second rule. So when that car gets to the same bus stop, if it's raining out, you have to say, only a fool breaks the 2 second rule twice, and that's the 4 second rule. It's just so Irish. But that's how that works. Does that make sense, Charmaine? I think these were the same question. Do we use the handbrake every time we're waiting on a red signal in an automatic car? The answer is no. You don't have to. I know I do it in all the videos. That's just betting to me, because I done all my lessons in a truck. You have to do it in a truck. You know what I mean? You don't want to squash somebody with a truck. But with a car, it's a different braking system and all. You're grand on the foot brake. There's no issues with it whatsoever. I was wondering, if I am turning into a junction and the traffic light is red, should I use my handbrake while waiting on the light to turn green for automatic car? It's the same question. You don't have to. You can just stay on the foot brake if you want, and then when the cars in front move, mirror, mirror, off the brake. That could be the last one. I know. Are we expected to stay as close to the speed limit when it's raining, or how does that work in rainy conditions? Thank you so much, Daisy. When it's raining, don't go too slow. Go the speed limit. If the rain was too heavy that you had to slow down, they wouldn't take it out. Go the speed limit. But it just brings me back to the question a few minutes ago about the 4 second rule. You go the speed limit when it's safe to do so, but you just leave double the following distance. So you do the 4 second rule when traveling behind the car. People get hammered for progress in the rain because they think, I'm going to ease off it because it's raining. Don't. That's a bit harsh. If it's safe to go the speed limit, go the speed limit. And that's it. That's it. I don't know. I feel a bit flat today compared to last week. I don't think I performed well there, but here we are. That's the thing about lives. There's no retake. So thanks so much for the questions in the WhatsApp. I'm going to just go through a few comments here. I don't think there's too many. How you doing, Ellen? Thank you so much. How you doing, Craig? Thank you, bud. Good man, Anurag. How you doing, Patricia? I'm probably butchered that pronunciation, but I'm going to see you soon. How you doing, Salim? So you passed in Talit. Thanks for the videos. You're welcome, bud. Congratulations. Delighted for you. How you doing, Ruber? So I appeared for my driving test on the 10th of the 10th, but failed. Then I reapplied on the 25th, but I still haven't got an invitation. When may I get it? Oh, sorry, that's the 10th of the 10th. I was going to say, how did you reapply on the 25th of the 4th? That's like 5 days later. I don't know, but that is a question for the RSA. That's like the same question, how long is a piece of string? Just, there's no answer to that, you know what I mean? So contact the RSA when in doubt about something like that. Best of luck in your next one. How you doing, Charo? Test on Thursday in Tala. Hope I'm passing. Best of luck, bud. I hope you all, wish you all the best. Get stuck into that. There's a playlist in the description below. I think it's the third selection, the third link down. That has everything you need in there, bud. Best of luck. Passed my manual on first attempt. Thanks for your videos. You're welcome, Joe. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. How you doing, Samuel? If you are at the pack packing side at the test center, do you need to signal when moving up? When you're at the parking at the test center, I'm assuming you mean Tala when moving off, and is it at where? Let me start this again. Hold on. If you are at the parking side at the Tala test center, I'm assuming Tala, do you need to signal when moving off, and is it at where you will turn since you are kind of in the middle position? If it's Tala that I'm thinking of, signal to move off because you're going to the right, or if you're parking the other side, you're going left. I'm assuming it's Tala. If you're bending to the left, no need to signal, but the right turn out into the T junction, that would be a right turn. You would definitely signal right there. I'm in the right lane in a double road mistakenly. Do I signal and come back to the left, or do I stay on because I have not been instructed to? Think about what you're saying there. So I'm in the right lane on a double road mistakenly. So if you know you're in the wrong lane, don't stay in the wrong lane. You'll get one if you continually stay in the wrong lane. If you're in the right lane when you should be in the left lane, you will continually pick up marks or position on the straight. That's a very popular, well, not popular. It's a very common reason why people fail a test in Finglas for doing that on the Ballymun, coming into the right lane and staying in the right lane all the way down, and you just keep up picking up marks for position on the straight. 4 marks for the same thing is a fail. So yeah, I realise I'm in the wrong lane. Shouldn't have done it. Let's fix it. Mirror, signal to the left, a little look beside you, and then move in to the left lane. You're welcome, Craig. Best of luck. Your test must be soon, is it? What is the current what is the current road limit with proposed road sign? I read in the RSA it's 80, but somewhere it's 60. It's 60 now. That was changed in February. Remember, it was the end of the world in February where, oh no, all the speed limits are changing to 30. It wasn't. It was the main change was the rural speed limit was changing from 80 to 60. And I was actually asked that question the other day. It's like, why do they not put a sign for 60 there? Because that's suggesting that when it's like when the road is empty, get up to 60. On them country roads, sometimes they're like extremely narrow. So it's like, yeah, when it opens up and it's a bit wider, by all means go 60. But don't go 60 through a really narrow gap. Just go through nice and slowly. That's why they have a different sign and not an exact 60, I think. How you doing, Hafsa? Traffic light is red and I'm the first, then I have to pull the handbrake, or just you don't need to pull the handbrake. Don't pull the handbrake up if you're in the middle of the junction. Just on the foot brake, and then when you find that when you see a gap coming, clutch up. When you get the gap, off the brake and just continue on. You don't need to have the handbrake up in the middle of a junction. If the speed limit is 30 or 50, then what is the maximum and minimum limit? You've just answered it. The minimum is 0 if you're stopping, and then the maximum is the speed limit. You know what I mean? Like, if it's safe to go the speed limit, you go the speed limit. If it's too narrow, well then, or whatever reason, you have to slow down, just come off. There's no exact answer to that. If you went 32, 52, wouldn't be the end of the world. But if it's safe to go 45 and you're just too slow and the cars in front are getting away, that could be a mark for progress. You know what I mean? Just try hit that speed limit when it's safe to do so. And then when it's not safe to do so, that's when you would ease off. How do we get a mock test with you and Dunleary? WhatsApp me on that one. There's my number there. I can't promise anything just because Dunleary is not exactly convenient for me. But we'll see what I can do on that one. So have you got my number there? Be fast. We're back with Craig. What's the crack, bud? When I fully stop at lights or whatever, I always put it in first, never neutral. Is that an issue? Not at all. No. My instructor never said anything. No, you don't need neutral. I yeah, like just because I do it in the videos, it doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. You know the way. The reason why I would use neutral is just to save me left runner from getting that crease across the toes. So if I know I'm going to be stopped for a while, clutching in just wrecks your runner. So I just into neutral and off the pedals. But you can stay in first or neutral. It doesn't matter. If you're forced at the lights, I would stay in first because when it goes green, you want to get the car moving. But if I'm a bit further back, I just have it in neutral. And then when I see the green light up ahead, then the first, and then you'll be ready to keep up with the flow of traffic. Well done, bud. Thank you. Miss Catch Rock, what's the crack? If I'm doing 27 in a 30 in second, will this be marked as an error? Third gear feels very fast. If I was a tester, I'd mark you for it because I hate people driving in second. It's too slow. The car is screaming at you. What car do you drive? Is it a diesel? If it's a diesel, I was even on a lesson yesterday, and we were in second, and for us to get to 30 in second, the car was happy going about 25, but to get it up to 30, we had to press the accelerator a bit harder. And it just feels like when we popped it to third and we didn't press, we are just very soft with the gas. It just felt so much smoother. And then when it gets narrow or you're coming to a bend or a bump, then you might use second. And then you're happy you're back in second. But then I just feel it's a bit smoother. I'd say if I was in the car, we'd be able to fix that in 2 seconds. It's just the reason why people kind of struggle with this is because when they go into third, they press the gas too hard and the car's going too slow to actually pick up speed in third. But if you don't press the pedal hard, it's actually a bit smoother. Just let me know what car you're driving there, and I'll have a think while I have to think about that answer. Paolo, what's the crack, bud? One, thank you. You passed your driving test 2 weeks ago. Deadly, and you're still showing up for a live call about how to pass your driving test. That's dedication. Every day is a skill day. Well done, bud. We have a Facebook question. I haven't posted this on Facebook in ages. What's the crack, Bill L? Thank you for joining us. I wonder, where did you find this? Was this on my ADM page or on one of the groups? So sometimes I see people stay in the middle of a yellow box. Is that okay? When you're turning, don't take this out of context. So if you're at a green light and it goes green, yeah, I go up to the yellow box, and if there's oncoming traffic, I stop. But don't take that out of context as in you always go into a yellow box and stop as well. There is a time and a place for it. The rule is do not enter a yellow box unless the exit ahead is clear. You can enter the box and stop if you're turning right, if you're not blocking traffic right of way. But just don't go in and stop in yellow boxes for the crack unless you're turning right and you have a green light. I hope that answers your question. In heavy traffic, stop and start should I still be able to see tires and tarmac? 100%, yeah. Safe distance. You want to see the cars in front, tires touching the tarmac. It's a good stop. You don't want to squeeze up behind somebody. You don't want to see, like, you don't want to keep up with them tires and tarmac. It's when the car in front moves off, I follow them. You don't want to be that close where you can only see tires and tarmac as you are driving. That's too close. It's when they stop, and when you stop, you see the tires and tarmac. Just don't take that out of context either. Just making sure you're doing that correctly. Otherwise, you're too close to the car in front. How that makes sense, Miss Cats Rock. Thank you so much. Traffic in front is. How you doing, Ad? How you doing, Adnan? Traffic in front is slow. Sometimes during rain. Well, then you can't do anything about that. Just keep up with the flow of traffic. If the traffic in front is going slow, 4-second rule. Don't get too close. How you doing, Lara? In Tala, are most of the reverse around the corner bends or so? Sorry. In Tala, are most of the reverse around the corners bends, or are there corners too? They're all reverse around the corner. It's never reverse around the bend. Some reverse around the corners are a little bit smoother than others, but some of them are sharp. And which corners are which ones are you talking about that are bends? And let me, what are you thinking? Tell me which reverse around the corners you're practicing on. What's the crack, Alan? Thanks for joining us again. Do we need to leave signal on while performing the turnabout, or just have it on while moving off? What you do is, as you're moving off, you do your gosh show. As you're coming across the road, the signal is on. When you go into reverse and you start looking left and right back window and down your steering, the signal will knock off. You just leave it off, you reverse, you go forward. If you're asked to park at the side of the road again, then you mirror signal left and park on the left hand side. You don't need a signal in the middle, the reverse bit and the forward bit. All right, thank you. What's the crack, Sarah? How are you doing? I have my first driver test at the start of February. Best of luck. What's the one theory technical question to know? Any tips for the nerves? You probably joined us late, but one of the very first passes that I done, all the questions, all the road signs, I can't guarantee that, but are in the video, the first two videos in the playlist. I think it's the third link down. That will cover all of them that you could potentially be asked. All right, there's not one, definitely the yellow box junction. I never usually say definitely, but there you go. You should definitely be asked the yellow box junction. Probably. How you doing, Vo Ming? I have four times failed driving test. Where, bud? Where are you doing it? I think you text. Did you WhatsApp me? I think your name is familiar. I know, bud. I know it. It's you just. I know it's. You just have to learn. I know it sounds simple, but you just have to learn what the tester wants. You can't be just going in winging it. You need to get proper advice and just keep on refining it until it's perfect. It's a high standard, you know. A car parked along a residential. Do I need to trafficate? I take it you're from Nigeria. I hear that word a lot. Trafficate. Trafficate is the signal to pull out. Not, not really, but I covered this earlier on. A lot of the time in the videos, I don't. If I'm in a residential, there's a car on the left. I just mirror move out and I drive straight past. Times when I would trafficate to move out would be if I was crossing a road marking a white line in the middle of the road, a broken white line. If I was stopped as there was oncoming traffic, if I was waiting on that, there's a few times when I would signal, but not necessarily all the time. A lot of the time, I don't. Test on Thursday in Carlo. Best of luck, Verial. Vids. Best of luck, bud. Best of luck with the videos as well. Any tips for roundabouts, pedestrian crossing, making good judgment when to go or not, finding a safe gap, or people walking on the path near a zebra crossing? I'll do the zebra crossing first. So with the zebra crossing, I'm on approach to the zebra crossing. Anticipation says it looks like them pedestrians are walking towards the pedestrian crossing. Off the gas, once they get close to it, and you're sure they're going to walk out, on the brake and stop in good time. You don't want to be taking a chance on it if you think, I think they might be crossing at the zebra crossing, and you're still heavy on the gas. You know that way. That would not be the anticipation part. Anticipation says, I think they're going to do it off the gas. Once you're sure they're going to cross, on the brake and stop before the crossing. With the roundabouts, a rule of thumb that we kind of use is if you would walk across, you could probably go for it. So when I get to the roundabout, if I look to the right, if I look to cars approaching from the right go first, unless it's a roundabout where you have great visibility up the road. If you would walk across, you probably could go for it. I've never been to Carlo, so I don't know. But a rule of thumb is if you'd walk across, go for it. But just remember, cars approaching from the right, go first. Ah, my cousin Natalie. My cousin is learning how to drive. She's only talking to me there this morning. She was. Deadly. Best of luck with the lessons and all, Natalie. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be doing grand. Once you get sorted, once you get a card and all, I'll drop over to you. We go for a spin. You can donate to the Keith Duffy Foundation if you caught the start of this video. A diesel Golf. Yeah, the diesel Golf started that powerful, aren't they? They kind of drag you up the road. You can go in second. I just don't really like it myself. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong, that way. But when it is safe, you don't want to be going 27 on a 30. 30 is slow enough. 30 is painfully slow. So they are VW Golf 2010. Yeah, so like just 27 on a 30 if you're in second, technically you're kind of in the wrong gear and you're kind of going too slow. And it's personally, I would rather see it up in third. Once you're in third, come off the gas, let the car kind of hover around 30. And if you start coming down below 30, you're just soft with the gas and it will just float down the road for you. Normally. Usually I have to see it and fix it. How you doing? Oh, yeah, I struggle with that word. How you doing? What's the crack? I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher the pronunciation of your word. And that's an Irish one. I gotta have the Indian ones right. When can I get marks for going too slow? Anytime you can, like, progress on the straight, progress turning left, turning right, progress at roundabouts. It's just you're showing the tester, I know it's okay to go. And then on the reverse of that, you're showing them, I know when to slow. People always get mixed up with reaction to hazards and progress. They slow when they should be going, and they go when they should be slowing. So there's like loads of reasons why you can get marked for progress. It's just when you know it's safe to go the speed limit, off you go. And then if you're at a T junction or if you're turning right, if you have a safe gap, off you go. They really dislike too slow. How you doing, Sadaf? Um, at 12:45 time, okay, for a test in Nice. I don't know. I've never been to Nice on a Friday. I remember I did do a Nice test through, and it was a disaster. It was in December, and I went through Nice Village. I found out after that was a big mistake. It was just the busiest test route I've ever done. It was a horrible day, so I swore I'd never go back. So I can't answer you there on that one. Sorry about that. You're welcome, Ellen. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing? Yeah. Hafsa, what about standing on second or third on red signal in automatic car? Do I need to pull the handbrake? Oh, you mean when you're I thought you meant in second or third gear, and then you said in an automatic car. So you mean if you're second or third in position, standing on second and third? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can if you want, or you can stay on the foot brake. In the videos, I use the handbrake. It doesn't mean you have to. You can just stay on the foot brake. Personal preference. They don't mark for it. When do I need to come to a complete stop when driving in a residential area and coming to a T junction? A definite one would be if it was a stop line. So completely stop at the line and then look right and left. Another thing I do say in the car is, if you don't know, don't go. As in, if I can't see right and left on approach, I come to a near stop into first, and that's when you would then peep and creep. You would go forward, try to get a better look, and then you pull the trigger on it. But just don't put, from another point of view, if the tester is sitting in the car beside you in the passenger seat, and if they look right and left and they can't see because of parked cars, and you just do a quick look right and left and fly out, that will be a mark for observation, because even though you try to look, if I couldn't see, that means you couldn't see, and it will be a mark for observation. All right. Well, that's the crack. Is it possible to fail due to observation and lack of progress? Of course it is. Definitely, yeah. You can just pick up lots of marks for observation. Yeah, you can get grade 3s for observation. And yeah, just if you're not looking in the correct places and you're going too slow, you're just going to start racking up marks. Yeah, you're welcome, Catch Rock. How do I fix turning too wide when turning right? Well, that's the correct term. Usually it's because you're looking at the footpath. Look up the middle of the road, and that will help you with the steering. If you're coming too close to the left if you're coming too close to the footpath on the left side, it's because if I looked at you, I'd say you're looking at the footpath and your hands are just bringing you into the footpath. Front of your car, in line to center line, pull and push, look up the middle, and that will be able to get you straight up the middle. If you're constantly coming to left, it just means you're not doing enough steering as well. So look where you want the car to go. That should help you with the steering. Hey, young Lara, how long is the actual driving test from moving off from a parked position? From moving off from parked in the test center, or does it vary? The average drive time is supposed to be 35 minutes. If you do it and it's really quiet, you'll be back in probably 25. If you do it and it's a bit busier, you could be in the car for 40, 45. Just flew around and tried that with coming down the gears without coasting. You did not, did you? Brilliant, bud. Well done. Very good. How you doing, Divine? When parking your inside box, but the body of the car isn't it a fail? So yeah, I did mention that at the very start. The girl, one of the girls I passed a test yesterday, she got a mark for parking at the very end of her test. There's a section. It's I think it's section number 18 on the driving marking sheet. It's the very last thing you do, making sure you park straight in between the lines. Very important. Otherwise, and the girl yesterday picked up a grade 2 for parking at the end. So yeah, making sure your parking is really good at the end as well. Best of luck in your test. In the reverse around the corner, how can I tell if my wheels are straight after doing the maneuver? You just have to kind of measure how much steering you're doing. Usually, the reason why this is happening is because you're doing too much left, then too much right, then too much left. It's the most people make that same mistake, and when I do a reverse with them, I just make them steer a lot less. Do left as the only steer left when they need to, and then it's just a reverse then for straightening up. It sounds like I do left, then you have to do too much right. Try to do less steering. Boom, boom, boom. Just 1 second there. Hold on a second there. Natalie, I didn't say make a donation. Now I was meant if we do a lesson together. You mad thing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, the generous donation. But that's okay. I owe you a lesson. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Where am I? So how does the driving test end? After pulling into the test center, do you wait in the waiting room again? No. So you pull up, make sure handbrake up into neutral, turn off the engine, take out the key, yourself and the tester, let me know what test center you're doing. You'll get out of the car together, you will walk into the test center. Like, I don't know, if I was a tester, I'd say to you, like, well done, you done well there, but I'll let you know inside officially. But some of them will just be real doom and gloom, walking in, kicking rocks until you get into the office, and then they tell you you pass. So you will walk in. They're supposed to tell you in the office, but that's they're supposed to tell you in the office. You don't wait in the waiting room. They bring you straight in to where you started your signs and questions, and then hopefully they give you the good news. Does whoop, wrong one? I skipped that. At the turning right and they is yield sign. Should I stay in the center or move closer to the line before turn? Hold on. At a turning right and they is yield sign. So that would be turning right at a T junction. Should I stay in the center or move closer to the line before turning? If I'm coming to a T junction, I'm turning right. I'm just left of the center line, dead straight up. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the road. Why does that keep appearing? What's going on here? How you doing, Avinash? What's the crack? Thank you so much for the videos in Navan. You're welcome, bud. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I have to miss it. Deadly, Craig. Well done. You'll do well in this test. I know it. Best of luck, bud. Do my test next week in Navan. I was never in that test center because every time the day I did the 4 videos, it was a Saturday and it was closed. And the day I went with Glenn that time, I didn't go into the test center. I didn't want to be in the way. So I don't know what it's like in there, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the same. And you'll get out of the test center, you will walk into the test center with the tester, and they will tell you either in the office or on the way to the office. Supposed to be in the office, but I wouldn't be able to contain myself if I was a tester. Wordy cause, thank you so much. Take the lesson as a donation too, as a local learner. That could you. No. You'll get the lesson. Don't worry. There's loads of lessons to go around. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate that. Wave Slammer, good name. Is it necessary to look in the blind spot while changing lanes? I did cover this. It was actually in the very first slide that I done. I'm gonna demonstrate some quick math here. No, shit, it's gone. Sorry, I deleted it. So yeah, when you're changing lane, mirror signal, it's not a big huge look behind you. It's just a little sideways glance before you move in. Hold on, I'm gonna get this because I do have it. It was the very first slide. Oh, there's sorry. So if you can see it there, there. You see the writing in bold. It's a little sideways glance before you move in. So just it's not a big huge look behind you. That's where everybody kind of gets tripped up. It's grand, sure. You'll be grand. I know you will. Hopefully you can make a video for Tullamore. Yeah, big news. I know this is not going to affect you whatsoever, but I could be making a guest appearance in Cork very soon. So if we have any Cork natives there, so you have your test on Wednesday in Tala 2:55. Will the traffic be bad? It's kind of hit or miss now after December. Since January hit the track. If we had asked me that in December, I would have said, bring your sleeping bag, you'll be cutting traffic on me. But now it seems to be a bit mellowed out. Usually at that time, you might go right out of the test centre, go down to the Green Hills Road and turn left. You could potentially go that way. I can't guarantee that, but potentially. So best of luck. Hopefully, if you see me, give us a shout on Wednesday. I don't know if I'll be there now. I've seen your videos on Gosho, but my instructor said there's no need to look in my blind spot again. It doesn't matter. Just check your blind spot. You only need to do it once. Just because I say something and your instructor says something different, it doesn't mean one of us is wrong. It just means both of us are correct. You know that way? So yeah, the reason why I do two is because if you miss the first one, you'll definitely get the second one. That's the only reason why I really want to see that second one. You know what I mean? But you don't have to. Once is enough. Any tips for new drivers? Pass my test second try on the 23rd of December. But just get out and go for it now, just time behind the wheel now, and just that's all it is now. Just like cycling a bike or swimming. The more you do it, the better you get at it. But yeah, congratulations. But I don't know how to say that word. If it starts with an X, I don't know. Thanks for the videos on Wicklow. You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching them. I need an instructor with an automatic car in Navan. Yeah, just click the link in the description there. I'll put you onto somebody. That should be no bother whatsoever. Ryan is last. When waiting to turn right after pulling into a yellow box, if the light turns red, should you wait? So, ideally, just if you're still here, Ryan, what test center is it? Because if it's Tallaght, there's an extra level of complexity to this where there's a Lewis involved. When the Lewis is involved, it can be a little bit more. It can be a little bit more scary. So ideally, I'm in the middle. I'm waiting for the first available safe gap. So this car goes, it's amber. The next car is going when it's red. Ideally, you would be just trying to go for it. If the car goes and it's really red, you're goosed no matter what you do. You're going to fail your driving test. Not a fault of it. Actually already passed my test, but happened earlier today. Come on, where was that? Where did it happen to you, bud? If you can jump on there, let me know where it happened, and I'll answer this second last one, and then that'll be the last one. That issue of the indicator can't see. It means I can see. So how do I guess what one sees and not? What if what you're sitting like right beside each other? If I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I can't see because of two big vans parked here, it means you can't see because of two big vans there. Trying to overcomplicate it and go against the grain. If you don't know, don't go. Stop, peep and creep. That's what you'll be expected to do. You're sitting right beside each other. If the person in the passenger seat can't see, you can't see as well. Trust me. Happened on the Ongar Road. If you know it, I do. What's the Ongar Road? And it's going to Hartstown, so it was blocked by a pedestrian light. So the green man came on as you were in the middle. So yeah, if that was your test, you're goosed. You don't drive through the green pedestrian crossing. But once the red pedestrian light comes on, you would go through. But you're kind of if that was your driving test, you'd fail your test. Probably because the oncoming traffic broke the lights. But at the same time, you can still fail a test because somebody else made a mistake. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. You passed your test and you weren't caught by the Garda, so well done. Wave Slammer, thanks. Isn't this necessary to have both hands on the wheel while doing the reverse maneuver? You don't have to. You can do the whole one hand with the one hand behind the passenger seat. It's a bit old school. You're allowed to do it. I don't recommend it. I just think the steering gets really messy when you do it with one hand like this. But you are allowed to do it. Right, lads. Test Thursday, 22nd, Maple House. Any special tip? You have a class with Patrick tomorrow. Best of luck. No better man to give you tips for Maple House Animal Huddard. Patrick is deadly. He knows more tips than me about that area. And hopefully I'm tying in with him soon for more content. I'm trying to just get that into the diary. So, having on Younger Road, sorry, yeah, you said that, but if you had to give your 3 best tips for Rahini, what would they be? I don't like. If I say move off my park position correctly, watch that funny right turn coming onto Harmon, whatever, Edenmore, and something else, and you can't reverse it around the corner. Try to do everything. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Try just do everything really, really, really well. One good tip is watch all my videos, because I say the same thing in all the videos. Watch the pre-test playlist in the description. And that's all your signs, questions, hand signals. You know what I mean? There's just try to do everything perfectly. That's the best tip I can give you. Best of luck in Raheny. Don't tell me you rammed a lot of pedestrians, bud. And that's it. I'm done. An hour. And it's fucking late. And I'm up since 5 o'clock. Feel wrecked doing that I do. I'm not messing. I was stuttering all over me words there at the start of this. Well, come here, look it doesn't matter. We got through it. Hopefully I answered all your questions. Hopefully you got some insight. And yeah, best of luck in the tests. Congratulations to everybody that did that test. And look at and as with that question next week, we're done. I'm going to just take these comments off the screen. How do I do that? But yeah, well done, lads. Best of luck if you have your test soon. Remember, if you want to book me, you need a few weeks in advance. Even with your own instructor, give them time. Don't book a short notice test date with no lessons. But if you need lessons, don't book a short notice test. You probably won't get a lesson off your instructor. Everyone is packed. January is the busiest month of the year. The videos are free on my YouTube. You know that. Go in, watch them. Watch one video, practice turning right, whatever it is. Think about what I'm saying. Watch it with your sponsor. It's free. And go out and practice it. You know what I mean? Try not to do everything together. One thing at a time and nail it. All right, lads. Best of luck. If you see me, give us a beep. Or say hello if you see me at the test center. Usually tell it. All right. Best of luck. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate the questions, everyone. Bye-bye.